Welcome to Garden Wise Adventures. My name is Malie, and today we're going to look at what we can plant in July. So it's the 5th of July right now, and I'm in my grow room, and I've just started just a couple of seeds, and I wanted to show you what I've started here and then show you what I've started in ground in my beds outside. So here we have just a few seeds. They haven't popped up yet. I just put them in yesterday. But we have some bunching onions and some cabbage in here. And then we've got some other flats that are waiting for seeds that I've ordered. I'm going to put in some more kohlrabi because it's turned out to be one of my favorite vegetables. And then there's some Chinese greens that I want to try, some tatsoi relatives, and see how those do in the fall. So these are going to go in the ground probably in August. So these will be for fall crops, crops that can stand a little bit of a freeze and a little bit of a frost, and possibly go into my hoop houses if it gets too cold. So let's show you what I was able to put in ground now and that has already popped up. So here we are outside in my backyard, and I want to show you what I put in my raised beds that I was able to plant this last week. Now we have some cucumbers and flowers here that I direct seeded about 2 weeks ago, so I think that was like the 3rd week in June. They've done really well, and in here we had some seeds that were pulled out by some little birds. And so I've reseeded in here with some more cucumbers. Now last year I put my cucumbers in this time of year and got an excellent harvest. So it's not too late for cucumbers. I've also direct seeded some lettuce that is already up. That was put in about 1.5 weeks to 2 weeks ago. And so these little ones right here that you can see are relatives of the Asian greens. So this is kind of a tatsoi relative. I can't pronounce it. I'll put the name on the screen. It was one of the free seeds that I got from Baker Seeds. We'll see how that goes. You can see in the back the little colored stems. Those are some Swiss chard that I put in. Carrots are coming up and doing well. I did a video on how I covered those to get them to sprout. And the beets are doing well too. And all of those are staying under the shade cloth. I tried removing the shade cloth, but it's just too hot for them. And all of the bare areas in here, which isn't very large, so there aren't very many of them, I seeded some beans, and this is the first one to come up. These are just going to be bush beans. This one right here is a cantillone, I think is what it's called. I'll put the name on the screen. But they're going to be just green bush beans. This bed, I'm trying to decide if I'm going to wait and see if the kohlrabi that I planted a while ago fills out. As you can see, it's not filling out very well. These may be just done. The cabbages are leftover cabbages from this spring. They're also, these are just the ones that didn't grow very fast. More kohlrabi. This bed may be completely emptied out here in a little while, and I may put some more corn in here. I think I only have about 2 more weeks before I can't plant corn. The corn I have has 80 days to maturity, and you want it to ripen well before your final frost date. So I think we're just really getting close to the final time to be able to put corn in. The onions are coming out. I may put a crop of lettuce in here. We'll see, but the onions have about 3 weeks left, so whatever goes in here has to grow really fast and mature fast. In my garden bed that I had garlic in, I planted corn in the back. This is a sweet corn that has 80 days to maturity. You can see little patches of it right there. It's just all over in these 2 rows. I think there's 4 rows of corn. And then in the front here, I put dragon tongue beans. There's only one that's come up so far. And there's that one. So there's plenty of time for dragon tongue beans because I think they have a really short maturity date. I also went to Walmart and got more basil, got some marjoram, and some tarragon. So if you want to go buy some herbs and put them in the ground right now, you can. I don't think there's enough time to start them by seed, but you can absolutely buy starts and put them in the ground. And then if you can find them, fruit trees and shrubs, fruit-bearing shrubs can go in the ground too. Now this one does have a little bit of sunburn to it. I tried to harden it off as much as I could, but this is a Chinese tune. I was able to find another one thanks to a friend. And I'll link a video up at the top that talks about the one that I planted last year that didn't make it through the fall. The fall had an early freeze, so I'll be protecting this little baby during the fall and the winter for this first year. So if you're wanting to put in a garden right now, the first thing you need to think of is how much sun and how much heat can your new baby plants tolerate if you're going to put in starts. There might still be starts that are viable at the nurseries and the stores. You need to look at them and see how healthy they are and how pot bound they are, and be sure to be able to give them enough water to get them established. So just about any of the starts that you can find can be put in now. Just look at the days to maturity and see if the plants are big enough that they're going to be able to bear fruit before the first fall frost hits. As for seeds, look on the seed packet for days to maturity, count backwards from when your first frost date is going to be, and see if you have enough time. But also add another couple of weeks just in case we have an early frost. So if it has 80 days to maturity right now, I would add another 2 weeks and make that 100 days to maturity. So if you have something that you want to plant that has 100 days to maturity, you may or may not make it planting it now. But if it has 60 days to maturity, like beans, something like that, then you definitely have plenty of time. So don't feel all is lost if you haven't gotten your gardens in. Go see what you can get planted and definitely plant it. And I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you like my videos, please like and subscribe, and go have a wonderful garden adventure.